This is a treatment I developed for melanoma. It doesn't cure it, just reduces it to a quiescent state. It's also good for senile keratosis and eczema and several other skin problems. What it does is actually activates the apoptosis related to cell death, programmed cell death for cells clusters that know they're not supposed to be there, and it just needs a little push to say, yeah, I'm leaving. And it does that through an intrinsic pathway as opposed to an extrinsic pathway. Basically, the main mechanism is a 5-HTP compound, which is similar to many 5-HTP compounds that are found in plants. I discovered this in 1992. I was in the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, saw a black bear digging up tubers out of the ground, and it had cancer tumors all over it, except for its face and its paws. So it really loved these tubers, and they were fairly, prodigious. I mean, in that area. So I took some, dried them home. Eventually, a friend of mine had access to a mass spectrometer and a column that he could run it through to isolate the components. So that's how I know it's a 5-HTP derivative. It's nature's kitchen, so you can't make it in the damn lab, which is another problem. When I actually do it, it has to be, and I only did it a couple times. I let him do it. The rest of the time, it's have to do it in a vacuum in the dark. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But in general, this is a slideshow I presented, which basically shows from the beginning to the end of how, and this is like a 30-day period of where it actually got rid of this melanoma on my skin. So once again, you can't sell it as that unless you probably got at least $500,000 and $1 million. A researcher with a PhD, and I'll be obviously an IRB and a grant. So there you go. But I think at one time I was selling this online for like $2,500 to $3,000, clearing a month. And eventually I just got bored with it and just quit doing it because I just really am not into retail. There's emails, there's all the mess that has to go with it. But I basically do this kind of stuff. To which a lot of people think I'm talking out of school because I really don't have the advanced degrees you normally find in researchers who are doing this, for a living. So here I come along walking through people's backyard, constantly annoying them, unfortunately. But no, there's a common undertow to a lot of technology and common chemistry and physics and mathematics and engineering that because of the competing nomenclature they egotistically create, I don't know why, but they compete with each other to the point where there's no common understanding between these disciplines. And through my basic training, I'm advanced degrees in engineering and software, and as developing products, I always come up against walls where I couldn't get past them because they were at the edge of my discipline. Well, that ain't gonna hold. I broke those walls down through my advanced degrees and the fact that I'm ADHD, so you've got the infinite speeding train, bullet speeding train of associativity working for you, which a lot of technical people have, and they're not necessarily that ADHD. I was able to break down a lot of these walls for myself in developing a lot of products that were multidisciplinary. And over time, I turned that into a career where I could get a whole room full of people who had nothing in common. They were all different disciplines, and they had no common nomenclature. And I could sit down and try to, assuage some of this. This stigma with the different nomenclatures, get them to understand that a lot of these things they're talking about are actually the same thing. They're just described by different languages and what they use, and create common ground so they could actually get a discussion to even think about developing new products. And then if you talk about problems today where you've got multidisciplinary products and they're not working, you've got some problems, and getting people together, sit down and say, well, listen, you got a lot in common. One of them was creating this problem. Let's figure this out, and be able to get them to understand how together they can work together to create just the normal kind of root cause analysis. So I've got 23 patents I don't need anymore. So this is, like I said, trade secret. You have to make it in the dark, hanging upside down with a vacuum. Not really, but this is a product that I made, believe it or not, for finish for my nieces and nephews, put them through school. But for some reason, their parents, I guess, decided that this wasn't something they wanted their kids to have. $2,500 to $3,000 a month to help with their school funds. Jealousy, I have no idea. I've even offered this to people, around that I know, and I don't know. I've explained it to my wife, and she says they don't understand what it is. And I'm like, that's not the issue. Put it in an envelope, ship it. you know, answer emails. It sounds easy, but it's something I don't want to do because this is what I do. So, I'm very good at typing and filing. I don't want to do that either. So, I know it sounds kind of arrogant, but that's kind of the low end of an extreme example. But to that point, this is what I do best, and this is what I'd like to spend my time doing. So,